Time to take it to the dirt. This is Slingin Dirt, 1 hour of dirt track talk. Now, here are Ashley and David Stremme.
Good morning, welcome, and happy Tuesday. I am so excited for today's show. We have so much to talk about. Of course, Super Dirt Week rolled up this weekend. A lot to talk about there. Super excited. We also have Morgan Bagley joining us today. He won the $20,000 to win at Magnolia State, the Cotton Pickin' 100. We've got our Super Dirt Week winner, Stewart Friesen, the last one at the Moody Mile. We'll have him talk about that and his 4 championships now at that place. And last but not least, we have Buzzie Reutimann. I'm super excited to talk to him. He was the first winner of Super Dirt Week, and he got to pace the field this weekend in his very first car. So super excited to hear what he's got to say, what he's seen transpired over the years. I am your host, and, well, he talks the most. We're the Stremmes. Thanks for joining us. We're happy to have you. What? Why are you shaking your head already?
Because I don't know where you got all this energy from. But
sorry, I'm super excited about today's show.
I thought was really cool is David Reutimann was tweeting some pictures, or I should say he wasn't tweeting, he was Facebooking, pictures of Buzzie, and he was kind of holding court. They had probably, I don't know, there's like 50 people around his car. So he definitely draws a crowd, and it was really cool because they had his car there, and I thought it was neat following. I was very upset I didn't get to make it, but it was crazy the amount of people that turned out for Super Dirt Week and at the Syracuse, and I'd seen that the World Racing Group, they're putting out some where you can buy some more T-shirts and sweatshirts and everything. They run out, so go check out their website. It was really, really cool. And did I not say I called it last week? I told you Stewart Friesen is very tough up there. Them long races that are hard on tires, he does exceptionally well. So, anyways, it was congratulations to him, and sounds like it was a great week up there. And they had, as a lot of people had seen, it was sent out, the big modified wreck they had in the 358s.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge. The guy had a video, and I didn't realize, as I showed you, he had like a little Jersey barrier there he was behind, but they were wrecking, looked like Talladega style, and looked pretty dangerous. But the new facility, we'll have to get some updates as it keeps going, or keep updates, check out some pictures. But it's going to be interesting next year at the new, what will be the Super Dirt Week facility.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've talked to a lot of people in the last few days, a lot of mixed emotions. Some people not real sad to see the racing go away from Syracuse, as it is a fuel mile race. There wasn't a whole lot of passing. So maybe the racing will be better on a half mile, but the prestige and everything that stands behind the Moody Mile, I think, is what's going to be missed the most.
Well, I think, and people, you hear it all the time. They're like, oh, it's fuel mileage. Well, listen, it's a mile racetrack. Them cars aren't used to running a mile. I mean, they're doing pit stops, and
it's like NASCAR.
It's just so different, and there's different strategies. But when you have a big track like that and you get spread out, and it's not, there's so much racing on it that the track is as we've seen in videos and pictures. And again, I've never raced there. It's so slick, and it's not really made for 4-wide racing like we'll see at the World Finals out here at Charlotte. So I'm actually looking forward to the new facility. The only thing I don't like is they will be able to race on it more throughout the year, and obviously not coming up until it's finished. But where, unlike at Syracuse, it was once throughout the year. So,
do you know how Syracuse preps their track?
No.
A street sweeper.
Really?
Not kidding you.
Again, exactly. How do you end up get side-by-side racing and do it? There's no banking. I mean, but the prestige of it.
Absolutely. Everything
else, it's going to be hard to beat that. But I think the entertainment value is going to be really good. I think that Syracuse, and there's a lot of tracks that have that heritage of where you go, the racing's not great. You might have had a few good races, but it's more the atmosphere and the prestige of running at that facility. So, I mean, it's something that I think it's going to be cool. There's a lot of events like, where we're going to go to this weekend, the Dirt Track World Championship I'm looking forward to at Portsmouth. We were there earlier this year, and now, I knew it was this big race is coming up, but I'm like, I didn't realize it was this big.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is the 22nd year for it.
Something like that. It started at Pennsboro. which I gotta give a shout out to Coleman Evans, who won the mini wedge race. They held a mini wedge race there, and he picked up the big check and like a 6-foot trophy. But anyways, they ended up they're trying to get Pennsboro back going, but it was at Pennsboro. But Portsmouth it's crazy at the fans, and I see Mark Martin tweeting about it. He's going. So I'm interested to see what's going on. Besides getting a race there, it was a great facility when we were there earlier this year. The weather's looking good because we all know, and I've heard the stories of when it rains there, it floods everything because it's by the river. But you look at events like that and other places that are really gaining traction and big momentum for end-of-the-year shows. So Syracuse, I look forward to what's to come.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a beautiful facility, no doubt about it. But I think Dirt did a great job of trying to bring back all the historical moments, and I wanted to share this with you. I haven't showed it to you yet.
Oh, no, I seen pictures of it.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yes.
I thought
it's Gary
sure.
Blue's 112.
That's
that
right,
was there.
the Batman.
But there's and what I
cool
thought
to see a lot of guys do throwbacks. Pat
Yes.
Ward, all those. It was really cool to see that.
I mean, there was obviously. Look, I'm not from that area, so to me, I can say, hey, I'm looking forward to new stuff. I hate it that it's gone. When a Minnesota State Fair shut down, ASA went there once a year. You only got on the track that day. It was a big race, and it sucked from an asphalt side. But there's other venues, and cherish what we have now. But I think it's cool that the state, again, the government, everybody has said, hey, we need to keep this in central New York. What can we do to help? And I think it's going to be bigger and better. So it's going to be cool.
Well, it was cool to see the stands completely packed. I know it wasn't completely sold out, but it looked like there was an empty seat in the house. And it's a shame that we had to wait till the last one to pack the house. We should be packing them every year at your local racetracks. Support your local racetracks, folks.
Well, again, it was a cool deal, but anyways, back
a lot to
to
talk about there. There's so many stories coming out of there right now. There's so much to read. That's what I did all morning was just read different stories, and one was really cool. A man's father is actually had his ashes spread over turn 3. So a lot of history there in more ways than one.
Well, it's look, we can't be here every forever on Earth, and there's all kinds of stuff. Change. So. But the one thing that was really cool, obviously we had, and I didn't know this until I was watching Dirt on Dirt, that there was the first time they had 2 20,000 to win late model shows on the same day. And obviously we're going to talk to Morgan Bagley, who I thought it's really cool. He's out of Texas, and he runs on the late model tour, World Outlaws, and I mean, I'm interested to hear what he has to say, how he prepares and does everything. But
he hasn't had a very big career per se. It's been a very short one, and he's been rather successful right out of the box.
The other track was Ponderosa Speedway, which it kind of sucks because I really would have went to this. But Matt Cooper, he set a new track record and won the modifieds. They had a pretty good modified turnout. And then obviously Chris Smokey Madden won the late models, and Bloomer was second. Mikey Marlar, Jimmy Owens finished like 5th or 6th. But it's interesting because it was a big race, and obviously them guys aren't messing around to where they want to win. But the 100,000 to win coming up, how many of them guys are just, you've seen Shane Clanton at Erie's a few weeks ago. A lot of these guys are just getting their stuff. When they come to that 100,000 win, they ain't going to be messing around, and it's going to be business, and I can't wait to see that. So Madden, obviously, I hope to see him up there. Obviously, we'll see a lot of the other big dogs. I mean, I would imagine Josh Richards, so many of them will show up because of World Outlaws having the schedule off. And I'll tell you this, a couple of things. Hats off to World Outlaws, Lucas Oil for, you look at, they really respect one another. They try not to for their big crown races, schedule on top of one another. So, again, hats off to them. So this is Lucas Oil's final race, and it's going to for this season. And it's going to be really cool. But the other thing that was neat, Carl Short, who's done this a lot for the 100,000 to win. I was listening to his interview, and it kind of hit me. And this is just something personally that I look at. And everybody wants to talk about racing. And he's like, one thing I'd like to see is cost go down, cost effective. Listen, bud, you're paying $100,000 to win. They're going to do whatever they can to damn win that $100,000. Okay, you to go, and I use this analogy a lot. Somebody goes out and goes fishing. They're catching the same fish, whether they're in a little rowboat or a $70,000 boat. people are going to spend their money how they want to. I think the one thing you got to look at, and how I view things, and you take in the modified world, one of the things I really want to keep in effect is these guys don't do this for a living. They do it to have fun. It's their hobby. So what we have to do is keep the cost in an effective part. But when you're looking at these late models, these guys are racing for a living, and you're putting up that $100,000 to win. They're going to spend money and do what they got to do to win that money. So it's a double-edged sword is what I'm saying.
Understood. I wish they would bring back the $1 million race.
They could. There's a lot of races. I don't.
It's all about the money.
And again, folks, listen. I roll into a place and I go, hey, I want to win. But I look at, if you have a bad day, you should look at 10th place money, and that's how I look at. We could probably name on one hand who's going to win that $100,000. Okay, I'll be surprised if it's not. I could name 5 people. We all know we all could name them. What I look at is start money. What can we do to keep them other guys coming back? Because them are the people that we need there. So, anyways, we need to take a break.
Okay, well, speaking of money, we'll be back to talk to Morgan Bagley here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their 4-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Regan Smith joins us on the guest line. Congratulations.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday with Woody Kane and Joey Meyer.
Take us through what happened.
Alex is an extremely good road racer. He actually got in pretty deep into the carousel on that last lap, and I don't know if he got a little loose, but when he did, he got checked up, and it allowed me to get to the back bumper there. And once I got to the back bumper, I think the rest is pretty much history. Everybody saw what happened there, and we were able to come away with the win.
MRN Motorsports Monday, every Monday at noon at MRN.com. This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt. We're the Stremmes. Joining us now, he is your Magnolia State Cotton Pickin' 100 winner. It is Morgan Bagley. Welcome to the show, Morgan.
Thanks for having me here. Good morning. How y'all doing today?
We are doing well. How about yourself, sir?
Oh, we're doing good. Just back to the daily grind.
I hear you. 20 grand richer this weekend. Probably the biggest win of your career?
Oh, by far.
I think it's awesome because, you've been racing out of Texas on the World Outlaw Tour, and you put on a whale of a show, racing against some of the best. How's that feel confidence-wise, as you've been digging on the tour and just going week in and week out?
Oh, I mean, it was a great feeling, just kind of like you said there, we raced out of Texas, and that's our choice. I mean, nobody's fault but our own, but we're proud where we came from. But that does take a little bit more time and effort to travel up and down the road. I think all racers know that you're not as fresh, as you can be until you get to your own shop and work in your own shop. And, go over everything the way that you like to go over it. And we've been on the road for couple months between, I can't remember when it was the last time, probably the end of July we left out and, just kind of been staying at, Darrell Lanigan's shop or stayed up at Kaiser and Tiger there a weekend, and we got back from Knoxville and came back and was able to go over the car real good. And we got to Magnolia and we went out and we practiced, and we had a real good car at practice. We found a couple of things in the shop there, and, everybody's just works real hard on this team, but we knew we had a good, a decent car in practice there, and we just kind of stuck with our same game plan and just to go out there and, stay in contention and race all 100 laps with some very good drivers and come away with the win. It was a feeling like no other, and that makes it all worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Are you getting ready to leave to come to the Dirt Track World Championship?
Well, believe it or not, we're not going to make it because my little boy's birthday party is this weekend. He turns 4, and me and my wife, we talked about this last year. We said, right when they kind of mentioned it, earlier this year, we were talking about, his birthday's right around, October 16th. So I guess what we can do is we can alternate every other year. One year we'll have it on the weekend of the either before or after his birthday, and so maybe every other year I can go to the dirt track. And I said, and this year it hasn't been as good of a year, and I'm not gonna say it hasn't been as good of a year. I mean, I've been really, I feel like I've learned a lot. This is one of the first years that it's just been me personally being able to build a notebook and make my decisions. And in the past we've had some, crew chiefs that's worked with us and helped us out a lot, but they've kind of end up making the calls how they want to, and whether, sometimes we agreed and sometimes we didn't, but, I never really had a great notebook. But, so this year, we're building a notebook, and we've learned some things that I wanted to try, and we learned kind of some more of what not to do and what to do. But, just because we haven't been able to put it all together as good as we want to, I figured, we'll just kind of, stay out of, just go to these races in Mississippi because they're always real good. And instead of going up there, and but as good as everything this car went last week, and now you kind of wish we were headed that way.
Absolutely. You talk about your career and building this notebook, but I got to share with our listeners, your career of racing isn't that broad, to be completely honest, and you've had quick success in the last few years that you've been doing this.
No, we started out racing modifieds, and that was always just like my dream to race a modified, and I never thought I'd have an opportunity to race a late model. And so, I started, between go-karts when I was in a younger age, and then dirt modifieds from the age I was 16 till I was about, 24, 23, 24, and then Wayman McMillan came along, and, me and him had a discussion one night, and he asked if I was interested in driving that late model, and I said sure, and, one thing led to another, and now here we are, and, I can't be more happy to have this, P&W Sales Clements-powered Club 29 Black Diamond car to, be fielded by him, and, but this is our third year to race nationally with a, open motor, 8-inch spoiler. Before that we had a spec motor, 12-inch spoiler type deal. So, it is, I don't like to use it for no excuse by no means, but I think sometimes they do overlook at us. And, just because we've been running up and down the road and we haven't gave up, we never quit the last 3 years, they kind of look, I think sometimes the press kind of looks and feel like, we're been there forever, a veteran, but really at the end of the day, we haven't been doing this that long. There's a lot of people that might have been racing late models for 10 years before they just decided to get out on the national tour, where it was kind of different from us. We just went out and got our feet wet in a regional deal, and then went out and raced the national tour. So, I do feel like we have learned a lot in a short amount of time. And there's a lot of people I owe credit to, Ronnie Stuckey and Darrell Lanigan, and some of the guys that's, helped me out along the way, but, we're just looking real forward to it.
You talk about, because the press kind of not paying attention to you or giving you as much credit. And I've watched you, and, I asked some guys, I'm like, who is this guy? I tried watching because you have really nice equipment, you run well, and it kind of makes sense with, as you're trying to build a notebook and not having a lot of experience. What are some of the places that you found very difficult, and then what are the other places that you'd show up and you're like, man, I never thought it'd be this easy at this place?
Yeah, that's funny, how you say that, because it is. It's just, you go out there, so we all work real hard, and, to take care, clean everything, like I said, Wayman and Kay McMillan provide us with a top-notch program, and, we take really good care to try to, clean everything up. And just for example, like this week, and I was just telling my car owner, it did happen to be one of the first years that me and him got to racing. We went out to they had, I think, can't remember what the race was called, but it was probably like a 5,000 to win over here at Magnolia Speedway. And we just went with our little spec motor and put a 8-inch spoiler on there, just a regular enclosed trailer, and just going out to have fun. I think they had 40 cars, and we were just ecstatic that we made the race. Well, then we come back for some Lucas races and some other shows, and I mean we went there probably a couple times and didn't even come close to cracking the field. And then we kept with it, we dug with it, able to win there now. There was just growing up modified racing down here in this area, you kind of see a lot more short stop and go bull ring racetracks, and that's kind of been more of my better places that we go to. And then like this year we go, I think we lead 10-15 laps at Sealands Grove up there in Pennsylvania, which is like a big old horse track. Like, I think they should put mile markers around it. So big. It's
Isn't
just
it
not my cup of tea.
Isn't it something, that guardrail and everything they got up there?
Oh yeah, and it's just that's like you say. We go some places and you're learning as you go, and you're writing it down, putting it in the back of your head, and of course you're taking a lot more butt whippings than you are. But that's those are valuable and
makes you a better man.
Yeah, we show up and do what we do, and we come there and some place and just start just to say, just don't ever get down and just every night. That's one good thing about racing. There's always another one. It ain't like that was the last race.
Yep.
So, there's always another one, and there's places that we we just never thought that man, if we were going to get us a lead some laps and get top 5 here, I would have never thought it would have been at this place.
What is a place that you go to and you're like, you'd never been there, since you talk about not being on a tour much, but a racetrack that you visited over the last 2 years and you go, man, I love that place, and I never thought I'd love it.
Yeah, it is. We try to go. I guess I don't know if it sounds bad or not, but it sounds like there's more of you remember that you hate than you don't like. No, there's like that place Lernerville, and Knoxville. Like I said, Knoxville, it's a big place, and high speeds. I mean, that's got to be one of my favorite racetracks. That they races so well. They put on a great show there. Just the way it evens out throughout the night, it seems like. I mean, that's the only place it seems like you can do almost an 8-car full field invert heat race. Yep. And you don't hear many guys complain about it because you can pass on this place.
What about Fairbury, Illinois?
I like that place. That's another one that you see. I went there the first time, and it was up against that cushion, and I guess they come back here in the South Texas. We always got a lot of sand down here, and sand. You can build sand castles, but you can't build cushions with those. Yeah. And so I haven't had much practice. And very good on that. So the first year we went, we didn't make it. And, we were running an outlaw deal, and we didn't make the show. And probably kind of hurt us in the points. And, we just kind of like, man. Of course, then we had to come back again next year. Well, we got to racing some more, got a little bit better in those conditions. Went back the next year, had a really good run, and just love. Now that's like another place. Like, we love that place. It races good. The fans are awesome there. The atmosphere is great. We look forward to going there every year.
When you talk about bull rings, that's what's stuck in my head, and because there are a lot of bull rings in Texas, and then you come out here and what I've seen, like you were saying, Sealands Grove, some of these places up in PA. I go, when I've got to watch them, I go, man, this is crazy how big these places are. But, Lernersville's another one when you look at the fans, but it's interesting. What about some of the places that you go to and you're like, how in the heck do they run late models here?
Yeah, there has been. I remember I'm sure you'll get to go to that, but we didn't go there this year, but it was at Belle Claire, and
oh yeah.
I mean, that's thing. I mean, we had to get a special gear just to go there. We didn't even take it out of the box.
Don't they have wooden walls there?
Oh, yeah, I got a wooden wall. I mean, that thing can't be. I mean, it looks like it's a go-kart track.
Yeah.
You think, how are we going to race on this thing? But believe it or not, it puts on a good show for the fans. I mean, you can, you know, you got to have a little respect for each other out there. But as far as that goes, I mean, you can race around it, put on a good show for the fans, and it can be a fun little place.
Well, you talked about your daily grind earlier. When you're not traveling, when you are back home in your own shop, what does Monday through race day look like for you?
It's just clean and clean and clean and double check and double check some more. You know, we got
babysit.
Yeah, that's what, you know, I say, get my little boy, and I don't, you know, we spend a lot of time away from home, so I don't always, you know, I get home, I miss him like crazy, so he'll come down to the shop, help us out a little bit, which I don't know if you can really call it help. He's probably in the way more than anything, but he gives it.
Hey, he's still there, elbows up.
That's right. So, but, you know, it's just like, that shows how hard these guys work. You know, my crew guys is Jay Bohannon and Daryl Myers, and you know, we go out there and we have a good weekend Sunday. I mean, have a good weekend this weekend, and then Sunday, you know, we drive home and we're talking about things, and you know, as soon as we get home, we're kind of sitting around the shop there, and we start unloading the car and unloading the trailer, and just talking about, you know, what, you know, how this worked good and that worked good. And, you know, Monday you get right back after it. You go right back to work. You know, it's I had a lot of people, you know, ask me yesterday, you know, whether they be sending text messages or, well, you still on cloud nine? And, like, it's just, you know, it's a win's a win, but now it's another day. You got to get back to work. You want to keep winning, you know.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Well, I'm going to make sure I come by and say hi to you at the World Finals. You know, because you sound like I could listen to some more of your stories and hear about places you've been. But we got to take a break, and we really appreciate you being on the show. And congratulations again. I thought it was an awesome win for you.
And happy birthday to your son.
All right. Well, I sure appreciate it. I said I just want to make sure and just thank, you know, like my car owner and P&W Sales and Integra's Hypercold, Day Motorsports, Got a Race, Kaiser Manufacturing. There's so many people that go into this that, you know, we couldn't do it without it. It's definitely an expensive sport, and but we love to do it. We give it our all, and I just can't thank all the sponsors, everybody that's a part of the team that's helped us do this. And we hope we can continue to put it back up front for them. And thank y'all for having us on.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We were blessed to have you. Thanks, and have a good one. And we'll hope to see you back in Victory Lane soon.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I love him.
Yeah,
I've never spoke to Morgan ever before. Adore him. He's
never
got
did
some
either.
good stories.
And I've watched him race a lot, and it's interesting because, you know, I knew he was from Texas, never knew he run modifieds. And
he actually ran for Roland, believe it or not.
Wow.
But speaking of modifieds, coming up next, we are speaking with Stewart Friesen and Buzzie Reutimann here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
The latest winner in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series over the weekend, Alex Tagliani.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast.
One race, you guys did it all, hook, line, and sinker.
Racing in NASCAR, it doesn't come easy. You know, when you've done that all your life, it's second nature. For me, I really love it. It's a challenge, right? I mean, when I'm in the car, I have to really, really be concentrating all the time and be disciplined to drive the car to whatever it wants to be, you know, driven.
NASCAR Coast to Coast every Tuesday at 1 Eastern on MRN.com.
Hi, this is NASCAR Live's Eli Gold. For over 30 years, you've been asking questions to your favorite drivers every Tuesday night. Well, you don't have to wait for Tuesday any longer. Call Motor Racing Network's brand new fan hotline at 844-4ASK-MRN to leave a question or comment for your favorites.
The NFL plays regular season games at Wembley in London. So what are your thoughts about how NASCAR could expand internationally?
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4ASK-MRN.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Joining us now is the name of the weekend. He's done it not once, twice, but 4 times.
It's
and
a guy
the
I
last
picked.
time you did pick him.
I picked him.
At the Moody Mile, he is your Super Dirt Week winner, Stewart Friesen. Welcome to the show, Stewart.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So 4 times in 6 years is absolutely impressive. You know what it's like to win at Super Dirt Week. Tell me what it was like to win the finale at Super Dirt Week at the Moody Mile.
It was special. We went into this week with an open mind, preparing the cars the same as we've done, in years past, and knowing anything can happen. But it was a little bit easier. The pressure was kind of off because going into the last one, we were just really able to take in the whole experience of the week and all the cool things that go along with it, racing at the short tracks. And we got to race the Silver Crown car on Saturday, and it was just fun. We were just trying to enjoy ourselves and as a team and taking all the experience. So, when it finally, went our way there at the end of the race, and we were able to get adjust on the car and get it fast and win, it was a pretty wild experience, and for myself, and it takes a big team for the preparation and everything that goes on during the week, and for all my guys, I just felt really happy for everybody.
When I think of your name, and I've followed you, since I've been going out to the dirt track finals out here in Charlotte, and I don't think of you as a big block driver anymore. I think of you as a diverse driver. You run, whether it's like you said, Silver Crown cars, sprint cars, all kinds of stuff. What is it? Something you just kind of keeps your mind off of things, gets different experience in different machines. What is it that drives you to run different cars?
I don't know. I appreciate you thinking of me as that. I certainly do. But it's just I just love to race. Bottom line, and I love running the sprint car and running my wife's car, Jessica. We did won some 360 races and picked up an outlaw win this summer, which was unbelievable. And it's just we're not here for a long time, so we try to have a good time, and I like to race as much as I can and a whole bunch of different stuff. So really appreciate the opportunity that Fred and Gloria and Rob Hart with the Silver Crown car gave me running that, and it was just a lot of fun.
Talk about how the sprint car helps you with your modified racing. Is there anything that translates, or has it made you a better modified driver?
I think I think both help each other. I think running the big block and the heavier car with a ton of power and not a lot of tire, you really develop some throttle control. That helps when you get into the sprint car on slick track situations, and then just the sheer speed and quickness of the sprint car. The 410 is just the craziest thing I've ever experienced, and I think the speed and how fast everything happens, kind of helps out when you get back into the big block and small block, modifieds. Just to be able to to adapt quickly and move around and being able to see things maybe that other guys miss.
So speaking of the wife, I got 2 questions. Is ask how she is doing, and then as she's not been in the car, has she really been in your ear like, hey, you need to do this, or you should be driving it this way, or how is that with her?
Be careful
sitting there next to you.
It's tough, man. She's probably the toughest car owner I've ever driven for. But we've had the most success.
Besides you sleeping with her, it makes it very difficult too.
She doesn't hold back. Other people I drive for, if they don't want to hurt my feelings or something, or you kind of you're on thin ice. If there's something that the car owner's doing or a crew member that you don't really like, you don't want to hurt your feelings. So you kind of talk lightly to each other. Well, with me and her, there's just no holding back. So if I'm doing something she doesn't like, she gets right in my face about it, and it's tough, and it's good because it only makes us better. It's been really good, but everything's like you said, everything's going along very well with the pregnancy. She's about 6.5 months along, so she's got to start taking it a little bit more easy now. She kind of overdoes it, when she's running around the sprint car and putting turns in the bars and stuff. And we have some great crew members that help us out, and Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Wilder that go with us to all the sprint car races, and they try to keep her slowed down as much as we can. But she's just awesome. She understands those cars, understands the shocks and everything that goes into it, and then the New York style slick tracks that you kind of run a different setup, a lot softer than you would at a Charlotte or Knoxville type setup. But she has that shot in her pocket too. She understands the slick stuff, and then if we come to a track that's heavy and there's a curb and it's really fast, we can just adjust back to that too. So she's pretty awesome to drive for.
That's awesome. That's really
good.
cool. I want to get back to Super Dirt Week here real quick. Your 4-time champion, Brett Hearn, is a 6-time champion. I've got to ask this from just a personal standpoint for you. Does it bother you at all, that you've won 4 in 6 years? You've got probably the largest winning ratio there in such a short amount of time. Does it bother you at all to know that you're not going to be able to match Hearn or surpass Hearn's 6-time champion?
No, not really. Not really. Brett, has had an amazing career, and he's always been really nice to me, as I've been, coming along here and always taking the time to answer questions I have about anything, and not really set up stuff, but life in general and racing in general and the business side of it. So he's done his work over the years and is always fast there, and I'm just happy. I was just happy to have 1 win at Syracuse, and to have 4 is very, very special. Obviously when you're doing good at a track and making lots of money running there, it's sad to see it go, but it is what it is. We're going to we have great memories from Syracuse, and we're going to try to create new ones wherever Super Dirt Week is next year.
What's your opinion with little crew chief mad there. Anyway, what's your opinion? They said fans are like, oh, it's boring, it's fuel mileage race, this or that. With the heritage and everything at the mile, and then going to I got to ask my wife here, what's the name of the new facility?
Glenn Donnelly's Central New York.
Central New York Speedway. Being that it's going to be on a half mile, do you think the racing will be a lot better and just a different kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the same. The mile track is so unique for our type of cars. We build special bodies and different, ductwork and different noses and, more like ground effects type cars. And there's a lot more preparation that goes into that. We have to do, live pit stops. So we have the quick fill set up and dump cans and more crew members. And, there's just so much more into it than just, putting the pedal down and running around the track. So that's the thing that I think we're going to miss the most. I know my guys, we really enjoy working on these cars and the month of preparation that goes into it, getting everything, lined up and set up and drilled and, ready to go. So we're, I think that's when it's really going to sink in for me about losing this race is going to be next September when, if we're just going to a half-mile track, we're not going to have that big, Syracuse thrash like we've had in years past of putting new bodies on cars and getting everything, just all fine-tuned. So that's the part of it that I'm going to miss, and that's what's going to change, I think, the most. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, World Racing Group and Dirt Car, Tom Deary and Brian Carter are excellent promoters. You guys have obviously seen what they do with the World Finals. So if they could, create just, a fraction of that up here at the Central New York Raceway Park, I think that'll be, it'll be a good experience. But it's just not, it's still not going to be the same as racing on the mile.
Do you think that'll increase car counts because a lot of the guys that can't afford to do all the, cool aero package deals, they'll be able to compete with you guys, the top dogs at a half mile?
I think so. I really do. I don't see, as long as it's a strong purse and, it's cost effective, the tire bill won't be near as much and the body bills and stuff like that. So, I'm sure, guys will be able to take their car that they ran at, at Fulton or Utica Rome or Fonda mm-hmm. Speedway and be able to take those and compete. So it'll be, it'll be another big race and hopefully it does draw some more guys out to it. That being said, this last race at Syracuse, we had, I don't even know how many modifieds. I think there was almost 60 or 70 big blocks registered and over 100 sportsman cars. So, definitely the participation was there. And, I know everybody's got, great sponsors and stuff to thank for being able to do that.
So with the World Finals coming up and you running a sprint car, and I know this isn't Wing Nation, but I'm going to ask you, when you come down, you gonna dabble in both the sprint cars and the big blocks?
Well, it's kind of up in the air right now. We're definitely doing the big block. We're going to be running for the Atlas Paving, number 66, the Petruska family. We're going to be running as a teammate to Dwayne Howard, mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to doing that. But that does free up some time to maybe do the sprint cars. So we're trying to put something together, whether it's in Jessica's number 1Z Core Pack car or somebody else's. We're trying to work on some stuff. We're trying to maybe find a motor that we can maybe lease or rent for Jess's car. So we got a couple irons in the fire, and we're just trying to work on the details, and hopefully we got our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can put something together for the outlaw race.
Boy, that'd be nice to see you in the outlaw race there.
It would be a lot of fun. I've seen them guys race there, and it looks pretty wild. So it's definitely something I'd like to experience.
Well, grab her car and go to Port Royal next week,
right?
So I can watch your race. That's what I want to see.
That might not be out of the question. That might not be out of the question.
Awesome. That'd be so cool to see you there. What about I think of I look at Tim McCready kind of the same way. He went and run late models. He had done big blocks and different open wheel cars. Do you see yourself going to late models or doing anything?
I'm not sure. It would be something that if I had an opportunity to do that, I definitely wouldn't pass it up. But so far we haven't had that opportunity. I ran a crate late model race up here last summer in a friend of mine's rocket car. So that was pretty cool. To just experience the type of car. Obviously with the limited horsepower, but it was neat. It was fun to do, but it didn't really get the thrill like I do getting in the sprint car.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. I could agree with you on that. So, hey, thank you very much for being on the show. Again, a big congratulations, and
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sounds good, guys. Appreciate having you on the show, and just definitely want to thank everybody, Jeff Daly and Sons Oil Service, and everybody that made this past week possible. My crew members. It's a big team effort, and I'm really proud to represent them, guys.
Well, you did a good job.
I'll get Postman to get a shout out on Wing Nation. Try to get you a motor to get down here for World Finals in the sprint car. It'd be cool to see you.
No, man, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stewart, and congratulations.
Take care, guys. We'll see you.
Man, it'd be so cool to see him in sprint car there. Just because if it gets slick, I think he's really, really good. And the big block cars help him when you go to them.
Center steer.
Center steer, yeah. He sits in. That's what was funny when he was talking about running a late model. I was like, "Ooh, a crate car," But then I'm like, "Man, he sits to the left. Everything else, he sits in the center." So, and it's difficult. But anyways,
well, speaking of different style cars,
I'm ready to talk to
Buzzie
this next
Reutimann, super excited to have him up. He is joining us next here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their 4-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Need fantasy racing advice on picking your team for the upcoming Sprint Cup race? Motor Racing Network's fantasy experts are here to help you with the inside line.
I like the fiery Brad Keselowski, and here's why.
Join Tyler Burnett and Robbie Mays every Thursday on the Inside Line for in-depth analysis to give you a leg up on the competition.
I'm really curious to see if they can continue that dominance.
The Inside Line Fantasy Racing Show, Thursdays in the Media Center at MRN.com.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmes, and you're listening to Slingin Dirt. I'm so excited. Sorry. Break is great, guys. You need to be here for break.
I'm excited to talk to
this next guy. I'm super excited, too. He is always a hoot. We enjoy him dearly. He is the man who saw the first Super Dirt Weeks at Syracuse from Victory Lane, and he saw the last at the Moody Mile by pacing the field to green this weekend. It is the legendary Buzzie Reutimann. Welcome to the show, Buzzie.
Hey, thank you for having me today. It's a great day. That pacing that field, that was a once in a lifetime deal, and what a thrill it was, I'm telling you.
Buzzie, what have you seen over your very first win there in 1972 to this year? How much has, we know the race cars have changed, but just the feel behind the race itself, how much has that changed?
Well, it's changed considerably, because the cars have changed so much. When I won the first two, there was different cars out there. You had the pinto-bodied cars and the sedans and the old coupes and a variety of cars and a variety of engines that had different horsepower. So I think back in the day, there seemed like there was a little bit more passing because nowadays, everybody's got 800 or 900 horsepower and basically the same type cars. So it has changed in that respect. But as far as the competition, it's gotten hard. I mean, to tell you what, it would be hard to win a race at Syracuse now.
How hard was it for you not to get in a car since you're still very active at driving?
Well, I kept looking around there for somebody to get fired, so maybe I could.
You should have
got.
got.
I don't think. I don't think. No, David and I, we stood on that little podium there, watching them cars come down the front straightaways. We watched the sportsman cars, and then we watched the 358. And then when the big block cars come out there to warm up, I said, "Gosh, them things are rocket ships coming down the straightaway." There was a definite difference in the speed, and I said, "Oh man, I don't know if I can still do that or not." But once you get behind the wheel, you sort of forget how fast you're going. So, and then you always want it to go faster. So it would have been a challenge, but I think I would have enjoyed it.
How cool was it to have David there throughout the weekend with you?
Oh, that was great. I think he enjoyed himself, and to have your son there with you, that just made it more enjoyable. That he got to interview a lot of times, and I got interviewed a lot of times, and we talked to a lot of people we hadn't seen for years, and the fans, they were just wonderful. So it was great having him there.
I'm sure there was a lot of bench racing going on this week with you there. Tell me what your greatest story that you can tell on air.
I can tell on air. I never did have when I raced there. I never did have time for any party or anything like that I could tell any stories like that on. But it's the thing there that stands. One of the things found out when I won the second time up there. The car was terrible. It was bad. I couldn't get it around the track, and I was having trouble getting qualified. And I thought, oh man, this is going to be. We're not going to do any good. And we was at the drivers' meeting, and one of my crew guys come up and said, "Buzzie, there's something wrong with the right rear spring on the car." And I was at the drivers' meeting. And I said, "Well, go fix it." So they went over there, and the crew did something to the car. Underneath there, they had a torch or something. They was cutting something, and so I got in and went out. And whatever they did, it fixed it. So I started 36 or 38, and came to the front. So that was quite a thrill for me, being able to pass that many cars and win the race.
That was big. With Syracuse going on and everything that surrounds it, what for the people that haven't ever been there, what does it compare to? Like, say, another race, the environment, everything that's happening?
Well, we've always said it. That's the Daytona of the modifieds, and if anybody that would attend that race, maybe for the first time or even the second time, it can't help but impress them. The way the show was put on, everything was run pretty professional there. Every time you went to Syracuse, everything sort of fell in order. Of course, the rain didn't help us a lot of times, and the snow and the sleet and whatever else went on there. But it would have to make an impression on anybody that went to the show for the first time.
I love it. I wasn't around when you won your first two races. Did they?
You're telling your age there now. See?
I was like, damn, you're being hard on him.
No, I just meant because I don't remember back then, what transpired. Did they do pit stops when you won your races?
Yes, we did a pit stop. We had to run fuel cells, and then we couldn't go 100 miles without stopping. So I think my first year I pitted on lap 54 or something like that, and so because I knew I could go the rest of the way, and both years I pitted in that range, and no tire changes or anything like that. We just still had the quick fill cans and dumped some fuel in there and off we went. So I was lucky. I was on Racemaster tires, and they seemed to wear a little better than I think we had. The other guys had some Firestones or something on, and my tire wear was good, so I didn't wear my tires out, and I could run the whole 100 miles on the set of tires. So that was a good thing there, because I was probably taking us about 10 minutes to change the right rear tire.
We were just talking to Stewart Friesen, and he was talking about tire bills and everything. So it'd be nice to run a whole set.
Yeah. Just one set on there, and off you go. See?
Yeah. What with being the last year, and obviously it brought a lot of people in. Did you see a lot of the guys that you raced against come out and enjoy the event?
Yes, there was quite a few guys there that was there enjoying the show, and I got to talk to a lot of them. You know, Bob McCready and Bright Bill, and even Billy Osman, and a lot of the guys I hadn't seen for years. And it sure was a neat deal to get to talk to all those guys.
So the car that paced the field, is that the actual car you won with, or is that a replica? Or
no, that was actually one of my cars. It wasn't the car that I won with. I won islip with that car on pavement. I think a 200 lapper at islip with that car I won, and I had ran it at Middletown and won a time or two, and I run it at Nazareth. And that car had a lot of history in it for me, a lot of feeling for me. See, that was the last car that my dad helped me build.
Okay.
We built it here in my little shop right here on the floor, just on the other side of where I'm sitting right now.
Yep.
And Dad says we need to narrow the frame up, so he cut 3 inches out of the middle of the frame, and we built it right here. So that car is one of my cars, and it was a thrill to get to drive that car around the track again.
Where do you keep
Brake
that?
Actually owned the car, and he we brought it down here, and my uncle helped me restore the car, and so it come out pretty good.
So you keep that car in Florida?
No, we got putting it back in the museum up there at Weedsport.
Awesome, awesome. That's what I was curious to see. Where that car's kept, so if people want to go see it and check it out.
Yeah. Davey brought it back to New Jersey there to drain the fuel out of it and drain the fuel out of the carburetor and take the battery out of it and everything. So he's taking it back up to the museum. It'll be back up there probably next week. And they went and got it out of the museum. Boy, I was so worried that the sponges in the fuel cell might go bad and plug up the gas line, and that thing might quit running on me. I was more nervous driving that thing around the track than what I'd have been if I had been in one of them big block cars behind it there driving down to I said, David, what if this thing quits in front of all those guys coming down the front straightaway? He said, if that thing quits running and you cause a big pile up on the straightaway, I'll have the rental car running. You would have cost there and we're out of there.
So you had talked about it on the show before, but for a lot of people that didn't catch that show, or They mostly know you from being in Florida, but you did a lot of racing up in the northeastern part of the United States. You go to stay in Jersey, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
stayed in New Jersey. We lucked out and we stayed on a big dairy farm there in New Jersey, which was really good for me because it was close to 30 minutes from Nazareth, an hour and a half to Reading, and an hour and a half to Middletown, or you could go to East Windsor, which was another hour and a half. It was sort of like you was in the middle, and like spokes, you could go either direction there, and it was a great place to raise a son on a big dairy farm like that. He had all kind of pets, from chickens to deer, and he even had his own cow. So, it was a great place to go up, and the people were just great there where we kept the car.
So you got, and I said it earlier, you're very active. Tell us about how your season's been going down there in Florida with the modified.
Well, pretty good, and not so good.
Oh, come on.
We actually, I got rained out 9 times this summer.
Oh, man.
We got into that rainy season down here, and the way the pattern went, it just rained every weekend. We got rained out 9 times, so that cut into my racing, and then I won a couple weeks ago. I won down at East Bay a couple weeks ago. And this week I'm going to go to Ocala on Friday night and back to East Bay on Saturday night. This week I've more 2 cars. That's all I need is 2 cars. That's 2. I only need 1 anymore. I told David I don't want no more new cars.
Has he built you a new beak built?
No, he won't let me have one.
Why not? I'm going to get on him.
He'll build one. He'll build the frame, everything. Okay, this one's yours, and then somebody comes along and buys it. So there goes my car out the door.
Now, you have a big charity race coming up here beginning of December, correct?
Yeah, yes, we do. We have our annual memorial race coming up on November the 21st, as it is, and David will be down for that, and it's quite a deal. We sell laps for $50 a lap, and then Dave from Dover Brake contributes something. And then we have a lot of people that throw it in, and we add that to the purse. So it makes a pretty good purse for the guys to run against down here.
Yeah.
And we just started it. Last year was the first time, and it worked really, really good for us. So we're looking forward to running it this year. David makes us take the roofs off. We're going to take all the roofs off the car.
I know. What is up with?
I don't like to take the roof off the car. I might get mud on me or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't he told me about this race a while ago, and he's like, hey, if you got time, you come. But when I seen you take the roofs off, I go, that don't interest me none. Maybe you got
the roof. I told him I ain't taking my roof off, and he says, "Yes, you are. That's the rules. You got to take your roof off."
You got some pole. We need to get to where you can run the roofs.
That's what I told him. He said, "If you take that roof off, I'm gonna make you add weight to the car."
Oh no!
Like that. But I'll just have to outrun him again when he comes down here, just for the heck of it.
You haven't had a problem doing that.
I send him back home. He hasn't learned yet. I keep telling him, follow the old man. You might pick up a few pointers here or something. But, he's always out there running around the outside of the track up against the wall, and so I just catfish it. I just stick around the bottom. That's the shortest way around. See?
What about that other guy that he hangs around with, that Brian Patty?
Brian Patty. Anything that David brings down here, it's going to be illegal because Brian had something to do with it. They've come out with a new name for David's cars when he comes down there. They say that's a run what you brung car. So there ain't nothing legal on it.
Oh, man. Bless. We love it. Buzzie, we could talk to you for hours, but unfortunately our time is up today. But we appreciate you being on and sharing all the good news from Super Dirt Week and what it was like for you this year.
It was an experience that I'll never forget. It was just a thrill to be there and to see all the people, and it couldn't have turned out any better. So I'm
awesome.
Real proud to have been a part of it. And so I'm looking forward to maybe they get that new track down. Maybe I'll take the old car out and pace the field for the new track.
Yeah, there we go.
I love it. There you go.
David said, you should have got on the gas and pitched it down in the corner a little bit. And I said, that would have fixed it. I would have spun out in front of the whole field. That would have been a big crash.
You still have what it takes, Buzzie. There's no doubt about it.
Well, look, you get us a 2-hour program so we can talk a little longer next time.
We'll do that.
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to the people at MRN. Thanks, Buzzie. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on, okay?
Oh, goodness gracious. Love it. Well, that's our show.
Real quick before we get off, Clary Speedway in North Carolina, $20,000 to win. King of the Carolinas at Carolina Speedway. And again,
Dirt Track
forget.
World Championships. Wing Nation up next with our friends. Thanks for joining us. Hey, feel free to tweet us at Slingin Dirt. Later today, you can find us in the Media Center at MRN.com, on iTunes, and at Race Day Nation on the iHeartRadio app.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.